stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Sober Saturdays. Here we are on Saturday being sober and stuff. Yeah. Hope you're having a good day. Try to find this where I thought it was on the, oh, there it is, right in front of my face. Ooh, no light. Ooh, I took like all the way, just because I did that. That was weird. What if I do that? All my light doesn't go away. Now I do that. See, it's just weird. It's just weird. Why does it feel like everything's backwards? Because it is. Let's fix that. Boing, boing. There we go. There we go. Now it's correct. I was like everything looks weird. There, now it looks right. It's unbackwards now. So it's called mirroring your camera. But everything would be backwards. So I like people to be able to actually read. Otherwise, that would be on the other side. It's actually over there, right? So, but it's on your correct side when you're looking at it. See? Yeah, sorry about that. But happy Saturday to you. It is Saturday. I'm not quite awake yet. It is the 3rd. It is January 3rd. And today we're going to be talking about forgiveness, all around forgiveness. I am feeling a little bit better. It slowly comes along. I'm slowly feeling better. I do feel better than yesterday. That's what matters, right? So, had a pretty cool day yesterday. Had some good meetings. Tuesday, I get to go tour the new detox. I'm actually looking forward to that. We will see. Cool stuff. I think it's cool stuff anyway. Got a couple more speakers for the podcast. The wife is home. All right. So, all good stuff. Most of my usual listeners are either, they're out and about today, or they're at family and stuff. So, I'm not anticipating too many people. So, I don't know that I really have anything to talk about before we get started here. So why don't we delve right into Dion's daily funnies here? All right. We're using Bored Panda today. See if maybe we can get some different dad jokes. These are like, yeah, these suck. Okay. Those, they weren't any good. They weren't even really jokes. I don't know what they were. They were more like puns with pictures. Here I am being unprepared. This is why everybody doesn't listen to me. Nobody listens. All right. All right. What do you call a snowman with a six pack? An abominable snowman. A six pack of beer, anyway. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They just don't have the guts. Yeah. 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 Did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? Yeah. They have great food, just no atmosphere. Crazy. It's crazy. Why did the math book look sad? Because it had too many problems. Yeah, we're gonna do one more. Do one more. Looks like we got somebody here. Hello, I don't know who it is yet because I haven't been able to check chat. Why did the coffee file a police report? Because it got mugged. Oops, I pressed that too early. Nothing like the audience laughing before the joke. So, good morning, Amber. Good to see you. All right. Today we're going to be talking about. I stole this from our group last night. I couldn't cut because everything's newcomer, and next week I'm doing a whole newcomer series. So I don't want to. I don't want to use my best stuff on the days I'm not doing it. So I'm applying one of my skills that I learned in the program, which is delayed gratification. And we'll do that Monday. Monday. We might do it early. I may go on at 10. Other than that, you should count on me, except for Mondays. You should count on me being here at 11. All right. So, welcome to the Daily Trudge. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to Daily Trudge. Dion. Yeah, it's Dion. Here, please say hello to Dion. Don't you know who I am? You probably do. I'll tell you what I am. I'm just another drunk in North Glen, Colorado, trying to make a difference. That's what I am. It's nice not to have to be more than that. Yeah, it is. All right. So we're going to be in the 12 by 12. We're going to be talking about step 5. What will be in step 5. But what we're talking about is forgiveness, right? Let's talk, before we get to that, though, let's talk a little bit ourselves about forgiveness. And number one, why we forgive. We forgive for our own peace and serenity. All right. Good afternoon, Leisure. It's good to see you, man. That's why I forgive. I'm utilizing forgiveness this morning. I'm still a little pissed at my stepdad from Christmas. And because he told me to go get a job. And I still want to defend myself, Well, I'm focused on that. I had a pretty good. All right. Leisure says you have as many Hendrix shirts as I do. What, one? I only have one right now. I just wear it a lot. You probably have more than me. If you do not know this yet, a little fact about Dion. He was born the same day Jimi Hendrix died. I was born about 4 hours later. About 4 hours after Jimi Hendrix died, yeah. The answer is no. No, I am not. Maybe I'm making up. Maybe I am Jimi Hendrix reborn, but it adds to the fact that Dion is black is kind of the funny thing. For those listening who have not seen me, I am the epitome of a white dude. And it's okay to laugh about this. I've had to deal with it all my life. Leisure's like, "Oh, man, I have, like, 6." Well, give me a few. I always get wary wearing Hendrix shirts and recovery stuff because people, he had purple haze, all that other stuff. He died of asphyxiation, things like that. But here we are 55 years later and people are still listening to Hendrix, man. He died in it. He was like 23 years old. Yeah, and left a lot. Just imagine if he would have lived, and Janis Joplin and several of the others. Only the good die young, right? That whole song was written. Billy Joel wrote that whole song about those people. Right. Okay. So anyway, forgiveness. We do it for ourselves. We do it for our own peace of mind. Okay. Okay. And we may not be really be covering forgive and forget. We're talking about all around forgiveness today. All right. So forgiveness wasn't something I really wanted, but it became something that I needed. Yeah. I didn't there's parts of me that don't want to forgive. It wants to be angry. I'll admit it. Yeah. There um Leisure says, "Come on, man. He was just one of us, just not one of the lucky ones." Oh, that's a great point, Leisure. I like that. He was one of us. Yeah. And he still went up. I believe it. Thank you, Leisure. I appreciate that, man. What was I talking about? Oh, all around forgiveness, right? That we do it for our own serenity. We do it for our own peace of mind. And I was talking about sometimes I want to like that example of I'm still caught up in something somebody said at Christmas, which really isn't a huge thing. It's something I deal with a lot. People don't really understand what kind of work I do. Well, they understand it, but they can't do it. You may not be able to pull off what I get to pull off. I don't know why, right? But I also don't get to do a lot of things. So it's a sacrifice. We're all doing what we're doing, and that's what matters. Yeah. We can't compare. Comparing is not forgiveness. Yeah. Acceptance is a great start to forgiveness. See, and maybe that's the part that I'm missing here. Maybe I haven't just accepted the fact that that's how he thinks. See, that already helps me. It's like, oh, maybe a little understanding will go a long way. Huh. I was just watching this little short video about this bully who was picking on this kid, and his brother was standing up for him, right? He took his skateboard, something like that. But his younger brother was friends with the kid, and they get into a fight and stuff. But he says the younger kid says, well, the older brother says, "Why are you even hanging out with him? He's a bully. He's mean." He's like, "No, he's sad. He's not mean. He's really sad. His dad's in jail. His mom's dying of cancer. He didn't even get Christmas this year." Changes the whole thing, doesn't it? Changes everything, doesn't it? Yeah. Suddenly the older brother was like, "He didn't get Christmas." So he wrapped up his skateboard and gave it to him as a present. See, that is how life needs to work. But if I am too caught up in my own stuff, in my own, I have to defend myself, that I have to do this, that I have to do that, then what I'm not going to do is see that this person is calling out for help. See, when we are angry, we take it out on the people that we love the most. So when somebody's taking something out on you, they are kind of asking for help. They may not know it, they may not understand it, but when I am angry, I'm usually in pain. Hmm, right. And for years, people had to deal with my anger. They gave me a lot of patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love. They gave me a little leeway. Right. And now it's my turn. It's my turn to extend that. I don't always do the best job, okay? But I do understand that when somebody is angry, that there's a pain. There's a pain going on. Yeah. And maybe instead of taking offense to what they're saying, I can say, "Hey, what's going on? You seem really angry. I mean, you're getting angry at me and I haven't done anything. What's going on?" See, this is love. This is the language of the heart. You've been there. I've been there. Can't we give a little understanding? Right? You, do you want? I'm going to tell you. Said, okay. Working at detoxes happens often. Okay, as staff, you are not treated well. Right? They hate on you, and you have to have the skill of. You have to be very tough. You don't have to. Yeah, this is the way I explain it. You don't have to be tough. You have to be slick. This is how I used to tell people when. This is how I used to train my salespeople. I'm like, you don't have to have tough skin because that's what they like. You have slick skin. You have to let this stuff beat off of you. Oh, screw you. Yeah, what are you doing? Call me during dinner. Right? You gotta let this stuff fall off you. Don't carry it into your next phone call. Don't do it. So detox is the same way. You have to be very, very understanding that this person's going through some pain, real pain. Right? It's hard to deal with. We get called a lot of names. Right? Right. So good stuff. Right. So what is forgiveness? Is it a moral issue or is it survival? It's a survival skill, my friends. You want to know why? Because my anger leads to heart attacks, strokes. It messes up your body, man. It'll tear up your whole body. So it's a survival skill more than it is anything else, right? The more you live at peace, longer you're probably going to be around. The less likely you are to have a stroke, a heart attack, things like that. Anger does a lot of horrible things. And what is that based off? Well, it's based off fear. All right. My anger is usually based off fear. So there's Mark again. He's been calling me. All right. So, yeah. All right. That kind of threw me off a little bit. So, why is forgiveness hard? Because pain feels justified. I hurt this. I feel this one. I feel this one. Fear of being hurt again. Ew. The fear of being hurt again. Guess what? I'm going to be hurt again. It's going to happen. That isn't a what. That isn't an if. It is a when. Okay? It is how I handle it that matters. Yeah. How I handle it is what matters. Right. So when my stepdad told me, Dion, you can go get a job. I started telling that I have one kind of lined up. He's like, I don't want to hear it. Just go get a job. And that's what I did. I kind of laughed a little bit like that. I said, okay, thank you. And I said his name. Thanks. I just walked away. I'm not going to get caught in the trap. It's not going to happen today. Right. Because I made decisions that I wasn't going to get involved with any of that day. Yeah. And it saved me from anger. Then I had a great ride home, had a good talk with the wife. See? Now, if I would have let that interfere, what is that? It's survival. Yeah. Oh, we're getting to that leisure. In fact, why don't we do that right now? The most difficult and most vital forgiving is forgiving yourself. All right. Great leeway, Scott. Thank you. Scott understands leeways. He does what I do. So we're gonna go into the 12 by 12. Right? All right. All right. So I'm going to start on page 57 here. What are we likely to receive from step 5? For one thing, we shall get rid of that terrible sense of isolation we have always had. Now, why is this imperative for forgiveness? Because when you feel like a part of, it is easier to forgive. When you have a little bit of hope in your pocket, it's easier to forgive. When you have a home group, when you have a sponsor who's heard everything about you and you are now a part of, it is easier to forgive, right? Because some of the times I didn't forgive because if I did forgive, then that would kind of set that person apart from me and I would once again be alone. Yeah, right. Almost without exception, alcoholics are tortured by loneliness. Even before our drinking got bad and people began to cut us off, nearly all of us suffered the feeling that we didn't quite belong. I felt that way all my life. I to this day I still feel that way every now and again. It's less and less. But I am quite different from a lot of people though. But instead of deeming myself terminally unique, what I did is I went and found my people. Is there a ton of them? No. Does there need to be? No. Mm-mm. But I found my people. People that understand where I'm coming from, and maybe they don't even totally understand where I'm coming from, but they love me for who I am because I'm trying to do something good. Now I don't feel isolated. I don't feel as lonely anymore. Huh. And since that happens, I'm able to forgive. Why do I get to do that? Because my self-worth goes up. Hmm. I don't actually need other people's forgiveness. I don't. But I will ask for it so I can clean up the wreckage of my past. Absolutely, I'll do that. I'm not above that. Eh. Either we were shy and dared not draw near others, or we were apt to be noisy good fellows, craving attention and companionship, but never getting it, at least to our way of thinking. There was always that mysterious barrier we could neither surmount or understand. It was as if we were actors on stage, suddenly realizing that we didn't know a single line of our parts. That's one reason we loved alcohol too well. It let us act extemporaneously. That means without worry, without care. But even Bacchus boomeranged on us. We were finally struck down and left in terrified loneliness. It's true though. I mean, I'm having fun with it, but yeah, it's the worst place I've ever been. It's and then you can't. The hard part is you can't describe it. I can't describe it, but that's why I love other alcoholics because you understand that part. There was nothing worse than explaining my loneliness to somebody who misunderstood. It made me it made it worse. So when I got to AA and see now all I have to do is show up here or even go to the WhatsApp group or I can go to an AA meeting and I can say I'm lonely and it will get taken care of. It will. Those people will understand. And the fact that they understand my loneliness removes my loneliness. It makes me feel a part of. And remember what happens when we feel a part of. It is easier to forgive because you have a we program. Nah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. When we reached AA and for the first time in our lives stood among people who seemed to understand, the sense of belonging was tremendously exciting. Remember when you finally felt like you belonged? Felt good, didn't it? Still feels good, doesn't it? Mm, yeah. There's a part of my mind right now that's like, because people also utilize this part to trick other people into their programs. So yeah, I I had to throw that in there. Leisure says you can always text or call, brother. Absolutely, Leisure. I know that, bro. I know that. It's not often I feel lonely anymore, especially lately. I wake up in the I woke up the other I woke up the other morning and I had 3 texts from people just saying, thank you, I appreciate you." And one of those was from you, Leisure, and I appreciate that. Almost every morning, I get up and Amber has written me, "Good morning. How are you doing?" How are you doing is a big deal to me. It is. So we thought we had the isolation problem had been solved, but we soon discovered that while we weren't alone anymore in the social sense, we still suffered many of the old pangs of anxious apartness. What is that? You think dogs just go through it? What do they call it? Uh, they call it separation anxiety. How was I acting while my wife was in the hospital? I handled it pretty well, but I had separation anxiety, especially after 2 days, right? Knowing there wasn't anything I could do, it was hard to do, right? But I had people supporting me. "Hey, how's Shannon doing?" Da, da, da. There were people there. So, until we had talked with complete candor of our conflicts and listened to someone else do the same thing, we didn't belong. Are you catching this? I'm going to explain. Step 5 was the answer. It was the beginning of true kinship with man and God. Now, listen to this. It says, until we had talked with somebody with complete can I'm going to restart that. Until we had talked with complete candor of our conflicts and had listened to someone else do the same thing. That means sponsoring people and taking somebody through the 4th and 5th step. It's that part right there. Yes. See, it's got a give and take basis, right? So, this will not completely happen until you take somebody through the steps, kinda. Now, if you're a closed mouth friend and you're helping people 10th step, you're doing it. Doesn't quite have to be that, right? It can also be that you're listening to your friends do 10 steps. Now you're a part of it. Good job. It doesn't have to be the 5th step. I knew there had to be more, but I didn't know what it was until I started to run in my mouth. I'm like, 10th step, Dion, come on. All right. This vital step was also the means by which we began to get the feeling that we could be forgiven. There it is, Leisure. That's what you've been waiting on. No matter what we had thought or done, no matter what we had thought or done, because I've thought some pretty horrible stuff. Still happens to me. I'll get intrusive thoughts. Seems to be happening less and less, but it still happens, especially when I'm driving. That's when it really happens. Oh, why? These are pretty good about it. Yeah. So I always have to take a breath and let them. Just let them be. All right. So often it was while working on this step with our sponsors or spiritual advisors that we first felt truly able to forgive others, no matter how deeply we felt they had wronged us. Yes. Now, let's go back to that pain. Let's go back to the pain. In fact, let's go to page 62 in the big book. Selfishness, self centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles, driven by 100 forms of fear, self delusion, self seeking. We step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate, seemingly without provocation. See, we were a part of it. And we're admitting to our part. That's where the forgiveness comes in. Okay. And this is where God forgives you. Yes. And because we talk about us forgiving ourselves, we talk about people forgiving us forgiving other people. What about the forgiveness of God? Because that's the most powerful forgiveness. That's why you feel the way that you feel, because God has relieved you of that. It's another grace of God. Forgiveness is the grace of God. So utilize the grace of God. He forgave you for stuff. Somebody cuts you off in traffic and you can't forgive, but God forgave you for fucking burning down the house. Come on, man. And I could have come up with a much worse example, but I was nice. All right. Our moral inventory had persuaded us that all around forgiveness was desirable. But it was only when we resolutely tackled step 5 and we inwardly knew we'd be able to receive forgiveness and give it to. And give it to. Receive and give. Give and take basis. All right. Let's talk about we're going to do one more paragraph, but we're going to talk about the other type of forgiveness. Well, there's one more forgiveness. All right. And this is a little bit more religion-y than what we usually talk about. Give me one. Why do most people want forgiveness? So they can live a better life, right? But a lot of people want forgiveness so that they can get into heaven. I don't get to decide that. So, how powerful is my forgiveness? To the extent that I get peace of mind. That is the extent of it. My forgiveness will not heal you. It won't. God's will, though. But you got to ask for it. And then you have to be willing to forgive yourself. And that'll be the hardest thing to do. Because you've done more to you than anybody else in this world. Now you figured that out. And you're going to be angry at yourself for a minute. That's okay. It's all right. Okay? Just don't call yourself names. We don't do that here. Okay, I got to wrap this up. Then maybe I should not do this next paragraph. So, all right. That's going to be it for today then. I was on a roll though, but I got a sponsee in 20 minutes and Mark keeps calling me and I got to call him back because he's helping me out. Because this is the year of money for Dion and he my money man. Trying to figure out how Dion can make money off of what he does. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I don't really think I was gonna have anybody. So, but it's always better when other people are here. I feel different when other people are here. And what is that? That's that being alone, right? So it's always better with others. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.